I always had bosses who made me start out writing my own review. At first I thought it was lazy on their part, but it actually got me to think about my own performance more. And yes, I was always harder on myself than any boss was on me.
Yeah, one time I had my boss say, "I think you're being too hard on yourself," which that's a good sign. If your boss thinks you're being too tough on yourself, then you're going the right direction.
So, what if I don't have that relationship with my boss and it got damaged? How do I hit that reset button we talked about and redo that?
I've actually done that a couple of times, not specifically with a boss, but with some peers. I'm thinking of two examples specifically where we had an initial meeting and man, for whatever reason, it did not go well. And I'll give credit to the one guy who taught me how to do it. He stopped at the end of the meeting. He goes, "You know what? Let's try this again." He literally got up, walked out of my office, walked back in, and said, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I'm here to talk about such and such." And we had a little bit of a laugh over it. But after that, we got along fine. And I had a similar encounter a couple of years later with a new CFO. And I told him I didn't feel like this initial meeting went well. He left in a little bit of a huff, but then he came back in and he was a little bit sheepish about it. He goes, "You know what? You're absolutely right. That was not a very good meeting. It's important we work well together." And he introduced himself and we started over. And he's one of my closest business contacts these days. So reset buttons are fine. It gives you a chance to acknowledge that it's not where you want it to be. It declares positive intent and it shows a certain vulnerability that you've got. Because again, we've not talked about vulnerability, but I think, again, the best bosses I've had didn't try to portray this image of, I've got all the answers or, shut up and listen or, I never make mistakes. My best bosses were like, "Hey, we're all in this together. I appreciate what you're bringing to the party. I'm going to hold you accountable for your deliverables. But if there's anything I can do to back you up, I'm here for you." That is what everybody on a team wants to hear. And again, even though I've never been an athlete or anything like that, I do think there are a lot of analogies between athletic coaches and business coaches. Because if you look at the great athletic coaches, I'd say the same attributes apply.